Hello Spides and welcome to Vlogmas Day 24. As you can probably tell, I don't know, the lighting's pretty shitty, but I found my camera in my stuff. So now I can actually film the Q&A. Yay! So if you weren't aware, I asked a few videos ago for you guys to leave questions in the comments. I'm hoping that I found them all. I had to go through all the comments and see, oh, testy pop, and see if what the questions were. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. They're not really themed on anything. I just kind of wanted to do a general Q&A. So here we go. Here we go. Ange says, if you could go back and change one thing or do it differently, what would it be and why? I get asked this a lot. I guess everyone, or at least think about it. And you know what? I've had a pretty shit upbringing, and it was horrible, and I had, you know, trauma and stuff. But to be honest, if I hadn't gone through all of that, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I'm kind of proud of who I am as a human being, and I believe that it's a lot to do with a lot of the crap I went through. One thing though that I definitely would change 150% is I would go back to the day that I first started smoking cigarettes, and I would not do that because it's the worst fucking thing ever. I just keep quitting and then picking it up again and then quitting and then picking up again, and it's just bullshit. So I think that's the one thing I would change, and why. Taylor Talk says, is there anything you're going to miss about Queensland? Well, based on the lovely little Facebook interaction I had with the Canberra notice board, I think that I will miss the people. I've definitely missed the beautiful friends that I met since living there and stuff, because like I know it's hard to travel as far and stuff, so I'm not going to be able to see them that much, which is gonna suck. So I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss the price of avocados. I'm going to miss the cheap rent. We're paying rent, it's like $200 more than what we were paying at our old house, and the house is like half the size. So there's just a little perspective. I'm definitely going to miss that. I'm not going to miss the flies. And also, I'm probably going to miss the weather, especially once it gets fucking freezing cold here in winter, because I know that's going to happen. I'm just waiting for it. So that's definitely what I'm going to miss. And I'm going to miss you, Taylor. I mean, you came and visited me just off the cuff, and I'm going to miss it. I can't just come and see your new bubba and stuff. So there's a lot of things I'm gonna miss, but I'm here because of a family sort of situation, so it can't be helped. Alright, this is a long one. Alrighty. Do you think that you and Brendan will try for a baby girl in the future? No. If we try for another baby, I've got to be prepared to be having another boy. I'm not going to try for a girl. Not really interested in it. I don't care if I have a boy, girl, friggin' anything. I really don't. It would be nice, like, just because the whole dynamic of the whole house would change if we had another girl. I like my little boy club. But in saying that, if we did get pregnant again, which would probably be an accident, we wouldn't be hoping for either gender. Like, it'd be nice to have something different, but like at the same time, if I get pregnant again, I've got to be prepared to have another boy. Like, it's a likely thing to happen. So yeah, I don't think we will try. I don't think we're going to be trying again, but if it does happen, because like as I've said before, not really doing anything to prevent it, just my body's like had enough. I think it's like old and I don't really look after it very well. But in saying that, we moved here to kind of better our lives, so oh god, who knows, who knows. The short answer is no, and I'll just leave it at that. She's got another question here. This is from D, by the way. Wow, this lighting is so bad. I apologize. What can I do? Probably change the lighting. That's what I could do. Question 2. Have you had any real paranormal encounters before? Sort of. But I put it down to, it was back when I used to go to church regularly and I was a very heavily involved in the church Christian from like the age of 15 to about, I would say 21 maybe. I think 21 was when I started to decline. But I was pretty heavily involved in quite a big church, and I used to frequently feel like the Holy Spirit and all that kind of stuff. I spoke in tongues. What else? So one time when I was on a school camp, I think I slept on I was on the bottom bunk or the top bunk. I can't remember the bunk bed I was in, but I was on a bunk bed and I was pinned to the bed and I couldn't move, and there was like swirling and shit going on above me, and I was terrified and I didn't know what was going on, and I put it down to, because, you know, I was all about Jesus and Christianity and everything was God, so I put it down to demons at the time. Haven't really thought about it since, so I don't know. Like, I still have some Christian beliefs, so it very well could have been, but I kind of was just like, oh well, demons, cool, and like didn't really think about it since. So I guess that's the one paranormal. I'm sure there's way more, but that's one that I can remember off the top of my head. And D has another question. If you could go back in time and change one thing that happens in the world, what country and what would you change? That's amazing, and I love that, because at first I was reading it and I was like, oh, I've already answered this question. But if it was in any country, I'd probably change... probably the bushfires, the recent bushfires in Australia, because that was hectic. Like, and also maybe even COVID. I don't know. I don't really know much about history, so because, you know, I'm that uncultured. I only know like what I watch on TV and stuff. So there's a lot of things I am going, my brain just, it's just going like all around the world. I would probably change the slavery situation, because that shit is sad and it's horrible, and I will probably get slammed for saying something right now, so I would change that anyway. And Hitler, you know, that was pretty crappy, but at the same time it kind of formed our world. But anything racist, like, I don't understand why people have to be differentiated by the way that they look. Like, if we all looked white with blue eyes, like, we'd all be the same. It'd be boring. Why can't... Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, because this is not the place. Well, it is the place, but it's not happening. I would change anything to do with racism and the stolen generation and slavery, and just like let people be people. I think that's, out of all the many things I would change, I think that's pretty important. Bling! Good one, Cheyanne. Put your phone on silent next time, why don't you? Okay, this one's from Ashy. Will you I don't know if this is part of the Q&A. I don't know. I just saw questions and I screenshotted them. So, will you be staying in Canberra long term and are you both happy to be there? So, the original plan was to come to Canberra because my parents are not well. I was going to be spending time with them. Then my stepfather died, and so now I need to spend time with my mum. And then I found out that my mum has dementia. It's very mild, and they're trying to do stuff to like slow it down, but that's a thing. So we kind of had to come here as quick as possible so that to spend time with my mum. My dad's also dying of cancer as well. So that was the whole reason for coming down, because I was pretty much like, well, if I don't come down here to see my parents and let my parents know their grandchildren and stuff, then I will never ever forgive myself. And if Brendan for some reason doesn't let me go or want to move, then I will never forgive him and it'll ruin everything. Like, I would be so salty to me or to him. And also in Toowoomba, I don't know, I haven't showed a lot of it on camera, but like, I was going through a lot. Like, I was so far away from my family that I couldn't just get in a car and go and see them. And when all the shit that has been going on, it's like I just sat and watched in the sidelines. So that caused a lot of stress. I am making a point related to the question, just bear with me for a sec. That caused a lot of stress, which made me kind of implode, which eventually I would explode, quit my job because I was like snapping at children. It wasn't fair for me to be in childcare and feeling the way I was. It wasn't fair on the children, it wasn't fair on the other staff, it wasn't fair on me to have to like fake it and stuff, so I had to take a break. I was frequently having like anxiety attacks and what I say is a mental breakdown. Like, it's not as bad as that, but I did have full-blown like nervous breakdowns a few times this year and last year and probably the year before. So Brendan and I kind of went stale, not in the way that we love each other or anything, just both of us separately. Like, everything was just like ugh, all the time. Like, we needed to move to kind of be closer to my family, so that would make me feel better, so then I wouldn't be stressing so much about them. Like, if something happens, I can just go, right, I'll be there, and the longest it's going to take is 2 hours and a drive. And Brendan was just kind of in a rut. He was just, you know, not doing anything that was like, I don't know, putting on weight and not doing anything that made him feel accomplished or whatever. So then when I mentioned moving, he was agreed and was all for it because it's a good excuse to restart. So we're going to be eating healthier and I'm going to stop drinking and smoking. I laugh because I know how much I say it. I'm not stupid. I know it sounds like a broken record, but that is something I'm going to do. That's my plan anyway. Yeah, and we're just going to like exercise, do things with the kids more, not just like go to work, I stay home, be in a rut, blah, blah, blah. Like, does that make sense? That was a very roundabout way of saying it, but in other words, we were originally going to come here. God damn, I've just come full circle. We're going to come here. It sounds so morbid and horrible, but I wanted to just come here and stay until my parents died, pretty much, which sounds awful, I know, but that's pretty much what we're going to do. And then maybe go back to Brisbane or something. But now it's kind of just like play it by ear, see what happens. They could die in 10 years, so who knows? Who knows? It was originally just until then, so then I could be close to my family, but then Brendan started agreeing and wanting to like change it up a bit, you know? So there's your answer. Natasha says, are you happy? I think so. I mean, I'm happier, definitely. I think I'm a little bit manic and it's all like circumstantial happiness, but I'm not feeling the dark, heavy cloud on me anymore, and a lot of stress is being lifted. So today I'm happy. How's that sound? Will you go back to childcare when you move? Monique, yes, I start a new job on the 4th of January and it is at a childcare centre. I'm super excited about it. So yes, I'm going back to childcare. I think that I've had enough time off and I'm hoping that I've learnt to like control my, if that makes sense. I can't really put it any other way. Because I originally left because I just was, too much was going on and I couldn't handle it. So I'm at least trialing it, see how I go. I think going to work is definitely going to improve my mental health and well-being and just overall, you know, get me in a routine and feel like I'm contributing to society. So yes, I am going to childcare. I did not, I think this is from Lost in Oz. So she says, what would you choose, no sight or no hearing? I would choose no sight because A, wouldn't have to see myself and I wouldn't judge people on the way they look. I would literally just see what's inside, but I couldn't go without hearing because I need to be able to hear music and stuff. I can't deal with that shit. So I think I'd go with being blind. I'd rather be blind. I'm half blind already. But if I couldn't see things, I would be able to see people's inner selves and that normal, I say normal, but not everyone sees life that way. But like, you know, how you judge a book by its cover. I hate that people, it's like embedded into us. So if I couldn't see, then I would have no choice to do that. I would only be able to like people and things for what's within. And as much as I try to do that with sight, it'd just be easier without. Question 2, something you couldn't live without, excluding people. Something I couldn't live without would be music, I think. Definitely, or like artistic stuff. Like a way to express myself or make myself feel better or whatever. I definitely music. Number 3 is you can have any superpower, what is it? And I'm gonna say, I nearly said transportation, but I meant, oh my god, I cannot think of the word. What is it? Not transportation, what is it? Oh my god, teleportation, oh my god. Yeah, superpower would definitely be teleportation. And number 4 is, can I send a Chrissy card? Oh, I think I'm reading this a bit too late. It's Christmas tomorrow. You are very welcome to. I think if you follow me on Instagram, send me a message and I'll give you my address. Or like an address that you can send it to. And that, I think, is all of the questions. So if I missed your question, I'm sorry, because I like hounded everyone for questions for a long time. And then if I missed yours, then I apologize. But that's just my dumb. And I yeah, don't really have much of an excuse for that, except for the fact that I skimmed and missed it. So I'm sorry about that. But if I answered your question, I hope I answered it right. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna go. This has been Vlogmas day 24. Tomorrow is Christmas and I have got one hell of a night ahead of me. So I better go so I can edit and put this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Christmas. Merry Christmas. See ya.